I thought it was impressive, man. And Jared Goff seems to just keep turning negatives into positives, he's not good against pressure. Well, this year he's been one of the best quarterbacks against pressure. He can't move. Okay, man, look at him. He's scrambling a little bit. He's moving in the pocket.
Yeah.
I can't win outside, goes out yesterday. And I know he wasn't the sole reason that they won, but his efficiency and ball security was a huge reason.
Well, it's his decision-making in regards to, every quarterback would love to throw the ball deep every time. His decision-making and patience of taking what is there, it's led to 30 completions in a row to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's led to where the Lions are right now at 7-1 because at the beginning of the year, what we heard from Dan Campbell, Jared Goff was trying to do too much. And I think maybe he was trying to prove that he was worth the new contract. That's probably all a part of it, not the only reason.
Human nature, sure.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, week 3, he settles down, finds himself a nice groove, and since then, he has been the most consistent quarterback in the NFL.
And yesterday you were pretty much playing without your entire 2022 draft class, besides Kirby Joseph. Hutch was out, Jamison Williams, Pascal, Malcolm was out. You're doing it missing some key stats. Branch goes out, like we said earlier in that game, which
what did you think of that?
I thought it was absurd.
Okay, we got calls too on it, but you go ahead. Tell us where you're at. It was absurd.
It was a penalty, no doubt, and a fine at some point this week. I thought it was absurd. And people listening and driving into you guys, it's definition targeting. Targeting is a college rule. Targeting does not exist in the NFL. Head-to-head contact does. It's not college where, you hit him in the head, throw him out. Get rid of that thinking. That's not how it works. I thought it was absurd that they threw him out of the game. You're going down a really slippery slope if you're going to start to turn contact penalties into ejections, right? Unnecessary roughness or a face mask penalty. If it's egregious, I'll throw him out of the game. You're going down a really slippery slope doing that. I think a part of it too was the NFL has this list of guys that are so-called repeat offenders that guys look at. Brian Branch, I don't think has that label, but he did get a personal foul and a fine against Arizona earlier this season, which was also absurd because Trey McBride was the one who lowered his helmet into Brian Branch.
Yep.
But I think Brian Branch is on that list of guys that, like a Jamal Adams, the guy who's always, kind of getting suspended for headhunting people. Those guys they're labeled on a list as, we got to watch out for this. I think yesterday was clearly the NFL trying to send a message, but you can't convince me that if that was a 1:00 game, that he would have been ejected. That was a national televised game. I think that they were trying to prove a point. I thought it was a penalty, no doubt. Did I think it was the most egregious penalty I've ever seen, and did I think he launched into his head on purpose? No, I don't. I don't think that he saw Bo Melton drop the ball. I think at that point you're seeing an open receiver. You're going to run. You're looking at your target, right? You're making contact with the player.
And you want to jar the ball loose.
Yeah, and the caller earlier said a couple seconds after that was a bang play.
Split
it wasn't a couple seconds.
I think when you slow stuff down on replay, it feels like seconds, but it's not.
I thought it was absurd, and I think it's a very dangerous spot to start ejecting players for contact fouls.
But it's a huge game.
During the hits are hits, and if it's a legal hit, you throw the penalty flag and you pay for it during the week. You don't kick people out of games for that. Not in the NFL, you don't.
Because it's primetime, and Campbell mentioned because it's primetime. I would think the opposite should be the case. It's a big game. We shouldn't be in setting new precedents during the big game. If that's not how it's officiated, it can't change during the biggest games.
Yeah, I agree with you. Throw a flag. We can all agree that it was a penalty.
Sure.
His target was a little bit high. But it's a penalty, and it's a fine during the week, and you work to clean it up, right?
Yep.
So I thought it was absolutely absurd that they threw him out of the game for that.
We'll take a couple calls on it right now, and then we'll keep talking about the game itself, because the beauty of it is it didn't cost them. Like my entire life, those moments sink a game. Lions lose their difference maker at safety, and then they go in the tank and they lose, and we're bitching about it on the radio the next day.
Yeah.
It's a blip. It's something that people are upset about.